currently driving through a cornfield, which I forgot how lovely it is to drive through a tilled cornfield. And I'm thinking Duke is not enjoying it either, but we are in a cornfield to do some goose hunting. The season is almost over, and I'm looking at a massive, massive flock right now. We work overnight, so Dan and myself just took and thought we'd do the afternoon until we start seeing lots and lots of geese flying. So here we are, setting up late, looking like idiots, but it's what happens, I guess. So this starts to hopefully a good episode of harvesting some geese. All right, we're gonna cut to getting the decoys ready. I was gonna record this for you guys, but it took quite a bit of time, and we were trying to get in the blind quickly. So we've got silhouettes coming through here, layouts are right here, and the rest of the silos over that way with a nice big shooting lane. We've seen plenty of geese. We should have been out here in the morning, right, Dan?
Yeah, well, we worked.
Yeah. So Duke, place. Let's see what happens. We're in between birds right now, and this little guy was just asleep before I started recording, but it makes for a great leg warmer. Our feet are toasty, and you got Dan just hunkered down in there.
I'm also not wearing a jacket like you are.
Yep, I'm a full winter jacket. But hey, bird hunting, weather's pretty nice. Someone's about to go to sleep though. Welcome back, day 2, goose hunting. Hopefully we got some better luck today than we did yesterday. Feels like a good day. Nice, strong overcast. I know you guys can't see a lot, but we should be off to a good start so far. I know these birds move about 9:30, 10 o'clock, so we're gonna get all brushed in here, painted up, and we should be shooting soon, hopefully. Okay guys, hunting didn't go too well. 2 days in a row of hunting fields for geese, and yesterday we saw plenty of birds, lots and lots of birds, but none of them would land in the decoys. They weren't even interested. They'd call back, just weren't interested in putting down. So fast forward to this morning, we saw 5 birds, and they had their own agenda. They were not coming in. So that pretty much screws up the idea that I had for a hunting video for Spiced Up Outdoors, but it's almost ice season. So what we'll do instead is do what I was going to do on my own and just go through my fishing stuff for ice season. So to start off, we're going to check out the Smitty sled, and then we'll go from there. Starting with the Smitty sled, I made this so I can move all of that across the ice a lot easier. It's easier to pull the skis across the ice than it is the plastic tub that's in. Even with runners, you can really feel the weight that you're pulling. So coming to look at this, I got 2 skis from the thrift store, connected them with some 2x4s, and then connected the skis to the 2x4s with some screws that I countersunk in there. Even though these are worn down quite a bit, you can actually see some of the fiberglass and the wood in there. It still works out just perfectly. And that's all worn down because the trip for me from right here down to the lake requires me to go across some concrete. But all in all, I'm maybe $30-$40 into this thing. So if I have to go back to the thrift store and buy another $15 pair of skis, that doesn't bother me too often. So moving on to the portable. For the portable, we have a Frabill Ranger XLT. It is not insulated. I have no idea how old it is. I bought it used. So it works out really well. When I got it, I bought it for $40. This thing, no holes in it, bought it for $40. So I think that was quite a deal. But when I got it, these poles here needed a good bath in WD-40, but after that, they don't stick anymore like they used to, and they work out pretty well. But coming in here, you first sit down, you see I've got the Vexilar sitting on top of a cooler. This isn't for drinks at all, or anything that needs to stay cold or warm, depending on where you're at. This, as you can tell by the bubblers that I've got here, is a live well and a bait cooler. So for panfish, go on this side, and crappies and anything that will comfortably fit in this side. And then on this side, you've got your minnow, your bait well. And it works very well. I haven't gotten a chance to really use it beyond a couple times in the summer, but it worked very, very well for me when I did use it. The Vexilar is an FL8, and this is my first Vexilar ever. I also got this used off the marketplace for, I believe it was like $150, and I could not pass that up. It works well. So, Vexilar. Leaning back in the chair, which I've got a boat chair there and a boat chair there. Leaning back in the chair here, we've got our ice scoops hung up just for convenience, and in case I lose one, I always bring 2 with me. That one I just painted recently. It's got a mark every 2 inches to check the thickness of the ice, and if I got in a pinch, I'd be able to measure a fish with that too. This is giving me a rough guess of which ones are within the regulation from the DNR. Next up, I've got my Frabill lights, and I barely use these anymore since I installed these lights here. There's one there, and then one that's built into the battery box. That one's on a separate switch from these top 2 here, and it all runs off a 12-volt battery from inside of the battery box. I've got a little control panel here where I can charge either devices either way, either by USB or by like a cigarette outlet. So I'll turn that off, and then The other lights we have are actually down below. Little dark blue lights that glow really nicely. These two are more of a purple, but I got them for free, so I'm not going to complain too much. Moving into the floor area, I've got these blue tiles or foam squares that keep my feet nice and warm, keep my feet off the ice, so I don't have to worry about the ice transferring that coldness up to my feet. I normally have a hole drilled here and then another one over here, and I'll either have a set line there, there's a dead stick, and then I'll jig out of this hole, or I won't have anything over there. I'll just put a hole cover over it so it doesn't freeze up. And then outside, I'll put my tip-ups. So what I use for tip-ups are the iFish Pro, is right here. And this is a pretty sweet little thing. So how it works is you have the rod holder right here. Get this undone. There we go. So you got your rod holder there, and then the line comes down, and there's one of these little loops here that connects to your line. Once you put a bobber stopper on it, you put the flag down, and you put the loop through that, or that through the loop rather. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Oh, struggling. Got it. Alright, so then this goes under here. I wonder if you can see underneath there maybe. Not too well. But there is 3 settings under here. So a really deep one is for bigger fish like your eel pouts, your northerns, and things like that that take a really hard bite right at the gate. And then one step in is for the bass, the walleye, those jumbo perch, and then the last setting is for all the smaller fish, the sunnies, the crappies, the small perch, and it'll work regardless, but it's going to need a lot harder bite from a crappie or something if you have it way back here versus straight up front here. So that gets tripped, flag goes up. I put reflective tape on here for at nighttime. I can just shine out there and see if this is up, because I'll know if this is up, if this white is away from the red that I put on the bottom here. So it's just a little hack that I made for the tip-ups when I put them a fair distance away from me. So moving away from the iFish Pro, highly recommend you get one of those. I don't get sponsored by them, which I wish I was, but I gotta get more than 26 subscribers. So from there, in the milk carton I have in here, I've got my cooking grate. This goes on my buddy heater that I'll keep in here, and what it does is, this is actually a paint roller tray that I shrunk down a little bit right there, and then flipped it upside down, so all you have to do is hook that around the handle, and it'll sit on your buddy heater with a heater element pretty much under here, and then that's all cook hot dogs or hamburgers or different sorts of things. I want to try those bagel pizzas on here. I just need to figure out how I can get the cheese to melt on the top. Next up, I've got a little tackle box. Most of that stuff in there right now is my summer fishing stuff, so I've got to take a lot of that out and switch over to ice. And then here's full of small jigs, this old Plano box. So moving this out of the way to check out what else is back here. In between the 2 fishing spots here, there is actually a little compartment underneath this wood table here. So let's reach in there and find out what's going on. So in there, you've got, I've got the jaw spreaders, the medical forceps, which work really good on those big pike or anything you're ready to throw back. It gets way down deep in there. Another Plano box of jigs, some band-aids because sharp stuff. And then we've got other jigs I haven't used yet. And then just other miscellaneous tackle. It works nice so it's not sitting out on top here. And then we have a good place to play cards or cribbage. So moving back here, we've already talked about that. Let's talk about the bait, or the bucket here. We have my bibs. Those are clam ice armor bibs, and it's my first ever pair of bibs, and it's really nice to have some bibs that are meant for ice fishing with the, the padding in the knees, the extra padding there, and then the pockets on the front. I think these... Nope, not a float suit. Never mind. I always thought they were, but I guess not. Just really thick padding in the knees. But that's those. And then, last but not least, is something I picked up this year that I'm going to be really happy to use. Well, I guess, yeah, I did pick that up too. That was supposed to be for hunting when we were in the field. But it might work for ice too. Be a little chilly though. From a coworker of mine, he sold this to me for an amazing price, so I can't really complain about that. Starts, runs when you remember to turn the fuel on, because that's what I did today. Just forgot to turn it on. I was going to call him up angry, and I would have felt really stupid, but he'll end up watching this and get a chance to call me and laugh at me. So, alright guys, thanks for joining me on this episode of Spiced Up Outdoors. I wish hunting went better this morning, even though you got to hear me call, and hopefully the GoPro caught some pictures and videos of the geese that were flying on the first day, and there was none on the second day. So there's very minimal footage from the second day, which is today. We may be doing a hunt at a guided place, so I'll make that into a video if that does happen. And then I'm hoping the ice gets thicker so we can go out there and use all the stuff I just showed you. Make sure to share my channel, because I'd like to get to 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully by the end of January, get it to 1,000. And subscribe. So, thanks for watching Spice Up Outdoors.